We all know I like to do experiences. Sometimes for the first time, sometimes stuff sticks, sometimes it doesn't. Today is actually going to be a little different. Today is not actually going to a location. Today, I am talking about the experience of Season 1, where I'm going to go over stories about each episode and each video, as well as a brief Q&A answering some questions that I have been asked throughout the couple months I've been doing these. Okay, so the experience of Season 1. Basically to kind of get into how Season 1 came to be and to actually be known as Season 1. I don't know. So I'm going to do an episode breakdown of each episode. And I'm going to get into the whys and the hows and the whatnots and the wherefores and the whatevers. And kind of break it all down. Make it a little bit easier to kind of understand. I will do it episode by episode. And I will also tell some stories about each episode, and then I will answer some questions at the end that I've been asked frequently throughout these 7 months that I've been doing this. So where to begin? Episode 1, how I spent my vacation. It wasn't even supposed to be episode 1, truth be told. It was supposed to be just how I spent my vacation. At the time, I was working at Home Depot. Those people who work there are very fucking nosy. So I took 5 days off. I think I had 5 days off in a row, because I had 5 concerts in a row. And I was like, oh fuck, okay, how do I handle this? I was like, because I know people are gonna talk. Oh, he got fired, or he quit, or they suspended him, or some stupid shit. Because it was all negative at that fucking place. So I was like, I'm going to make a video to kind of document what I'm doing, so that way there can't be no stories. So I made the video about it's me waking up, and I'm pissed for one, because you can't. It's before I started recording, I made all the shit that I was going to use, like the little pictures that pop up on the screen, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, fuck. Because I woke up and I was fucking furious, because I was fine the day prior, and I woke up and I am fucking sick, and I was like, you gotta be shitting me. When I'm supposed to be starting my vacation, I'm like sicker than fuck, and I can't do this. I can't do this vacation while I'm sick, and so I figure out, like, well, what am I gonna do? Whatever. Record anyway. So then I record the shit, and the Star Wars crawl was always gonna be there. I don't know why, like, that popped in my head, because I figured a Star Wars parody would be perfect, and I thought it was kind of funny. And I actually did not come up with the opening crawl until it was like day 3, when I was already in the middle of the vacation. I was like, because I was trying to figure out how I'm going to start this video the entire time until then. And then I was like, all right. So then one night when I couldn't sleep, I fucking found a thing. I created the Star Wars crawl. I typed it all in. And there it was. It was the day 3 of the Used. So my 4th concert, it was then. It was when they did Lies for the Liars. When I was waiting in line is actually when I fucking made the crawl. I found a generator, and I did all of it while I was waiting in line. So yeah, that's where that came from. Um, but I was furious. I was so pissed because I was like, well, how in the fuck am I supposed to um enjoy this now? Like I'm all sniffly. I'm chomping on fucking Ricolas all damn the whole time, and drinking orange juice and like water and just trying to stay hydrated and just trying to get that shit out of my system. I'm chugging down Dayquil and shit, and like it just didn't work. Um, until I found the cure. The cure is when I went to go see Memphis May I on the third show. And I was like, I'm feeling a little better. Let me try to drink alcohol. And I did, and I felt so much better. Like the alcohol helped. And I felt so much better. I don't know why. Like the alcohol just kind of made me like it made me sweat. Plus all the body heat in the area. And I knew I didn't want to be on the ground either. I paid the extra 20 so I can get the balcony, and it was fucking way worse. Because the balcony, you can't see a fucking thing unless you're VIP. VIPs where they sit against the rail and they're able to look down and shit. Where if you're not VIP, you're standing behind those fucking people. So you're like, you can't see. So in order for me to get videos and pictures, I'm like holding my phone up and I'm recording like between people. And I was able to get my videos and pictures that way. And I was like, this is stupid. And I left like after about 4 songs in Memphis Mayfire. I was like, it all sounds the same. I'm leaving. So I got enough to make a post and everything about it. But the alcohol, it helped. Like I sweat everything out and I felt so much better. I felt good. And I knew that I would. I felt nice. Like sugar and spice. So then by the time they used the, because that with Memphis Mayfire, I started to fucking hate it. I was like, this sucks, dude. Like it's like this trip is starting to be like lame as fuck. I couldn't enjoy the first 2 days, and I didn't really like. I kind of put the whole blame on like this trip is just not fun, when in reality it was like I wasn't having fun because I was sick. Um, Memphis Mayfire, just the show sucked. Every band sounded the same except for Caskets. Uh, and I'm like, this is stupid. So then I got home and I'm like, or to the motel, and I'm like, I still got 2 more days of this shit, dude. Like this sucks. Like this sucks. And especially doing it alone, like it was terrible. Fucking clouds are all rolling in now. It looked nice when it was sunny. You could see the fucking view of fucking Pueblo behind me all nice. So it felt like shit, you know? I just didn't like it. And then like the third Used show, the 4th concert overall, the Lies for the Liars show, was fucking awesome. I even moved up 2 sections at the Ogden Theater, and I was like, hell yeah, this is cool, because this is the album that I actually really started to like the Used on. And I had a fucking blast. And then I was like, all right, I feel way better, but I still am a little homesick. I still want to go home. So then after that was when I went to Unto Others. And by then I'm like, this sucks, man. I just want this trip to be over. And I never been to the Bluebird, so I would like to check that out and do all the shit that I'm supposed to. I went to the show, and I remember the first band was a fucking piece of shit. I can't remember the guy's name, but he played his part, and he just like starts unpacking and leaves. Didn't talk to the crowd not once, and it was trash. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't talk to us either if my music sucked that much. The next band, I don't remember their name, but they were fucking good. They were really good, and I liked them a lot. And then after them was Unto Others, and I fucking had a blast, had the greatest time, and I even showed the little clip snippet of, because the next band, tribulation, there was a guy sitting on the damn fucking ledge on his phone because he didn't give a fuck. And I'm like, yeah, like they sound like trash and they're too gimmicky, coming out acting like vampires and shit. And he's like, they call us tribulation. I'm like, no, dude, you call yourself tribulation. You're saying somebody else named you? Like, get the fuck out of here with that. And it was stupid. Like, it was like the worst shit ever. And I remember I told myself, I was like, well, unto others is not last, which is good for me. And if tribulation is not any good, because I wasn't pleased with what I heard on Spotify either, but I was like, if their live shit does not sound good, I'm going to stay long enough, 3 songs in, so I can get enough videos and pictures, and then I'm going to boogie. And sure enough, like, it didn't win me over by the 3rd song, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm going, because I want to be home. Like, I don't want to be here. I just want to go home. Like, this sucks doing 5 shows in a row by yourself, and it was just lame. And it was the first time doing something like that. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go. So I left. I went and I ate at Waffle House, and then I did the whole fucking Avengers parody at the end, and I was like, oh, I'm good. There's really nothing behind that, though. Just the fact that it wasn't meant to be episode 1. It wasn't meant to be anything other than video proof for pricks at Home Depot that I wasn't doing shit that the stories and rumors were going to say I was doing. It was just, it was more or less just so I had something to back myself up on. That's what it started out to be. And again, it just wasn't supposed to be anything. That's why the original thumbnail it just said how I spent my vacation. It wasn't even anything crazy. It wasn't an experience or anything. It was just how I spent my fucking vacation. Yeah, it wasn't gonna get a title, and that was pretty much it. So, yeah, that's really nothing more to say. That's the story behind that. Episode 2, The Incline. Ultra Black Monster. Available at King Supers. Real quick, there's a story behind these where I went all the way to, because they stopped selling them here. And New Mexico, Sam's Club on their website claimed they still had them. So me and the narcissistic ex-girlfriend I had at the time, we took a trip to New Mexico to fucking find these. And we couldn't find any. And it was a waste of a trip. We ate at a burger place. That's about it. I don't really have not a whole lot of recollection of that. We went to 2, 3 different Sam's Clubs, and we couldn't find not any of this. So, but then I saw King Supers brought them back, and I was like, no way. I was like, awesome. And yeah, it tastes exactly the way I remember. Anyway, episode 2. The Incline. This one was also not supposed to be in episode 2. It was just supposed to be, again, I did the Incline because people were like doubting the shit. They're like, you're gonna do the Incline? And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with that? all fucking giggling and tee-heeing and shit. And I'm like, I can do it. I mean, there's old people who do it all the time. There's fat people who do it all the time. There's fucking people on diabetes who do it all the time. People with fucking feet problems. I saw a guy wearing a damn boot who did it. And then the biggest inspiration was there's that chick that doesn't have any legs. And she did it. She just like pushed herself up on each step. And she did it. So I'm like, okay, if those people can do it, so can fucking I. So I was like, I'm going to see what the hype is. Because there's a dude at Home Depot that I used to work with. He used to talk very highly of it. And I was like, all right, man. I'll check it out. One of these days I'll get around to checking it out. So I did. I got around to checking it out, and sure enough, that's what it was. Was the video you saw was I'm gonna document um my experience with this place, and that was the experience. Supposed to be experience number one, but I was like, you know what, fuck it. They're all similar type of videos. It's just the vacation one didn't have any music to it, other than the fact that I was seeing live music. So the incline, I don't know like why it happened, but I'm glad it did. But I was just sitting there and I was trying to think. I was like, I don't like making a video where it's like, oh, I'm climbing stairs, and then it cuts to just me like being like, oh, whew, fucking tired. And then it cuts to me walking upstairs again with like just silence, or like like hearing all that shit, or like me talking. Like, so I was like, I need to find some way to kind of like spruce these up. Because if people are expecting to watch the entire ascent of these fucking steps, that's gonna get boring. So, hence the time lapse sped up montages, and including music was born, because I just wanted to find some way to spice this shit up. I knew from the beginning that "Fall in Line" by Fozzy was gonna be in there. That was always going to be included in that first video. I don't know why, but then I was like, well, I can't just go off the one song. I need to have more. So I just started brainstorming, and fucking, if this was like a movie, this would be the part where I'm like, fucking just going over making the blueprints and the whole guide and shit, while the camera's spinning around me and you hear the score, and that's just the way I had imagined it. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm just gonna do the whole thing, and kind of the way I planned it was exactly what you saw, except for the end. As soon as I hit the top, and I'm like, oh, I didn't plan the rest of this, because I have no idea what Bar Trail looks like. So that whole last part, that's why it doesn't really fit right. It doesn't feel right, because I was improvising on the spot. I didn't have a guideline for the end, for me descending the hill. I didn't have none of that. But from me riding the shuttle to getting to the top, the moment you see the fucking the step marker on the last one, all of that is exactly as I planned. I knew I was gonna do a fucking where I fucking turn off the music, and I was gonna say I'm gonna make it to the top. I was gonna do one of those. I was gonna do the no bailouts with the graphic on screen. All of that was all the way I planned. The aerial shots, the drone shots of the incline, that was always going to be included. Crazy by Bridge City Spinners. That one was also going to always be in this video. I don't know why. It's just those two songs for sure. Those were like, they're going to go in a video. And that's more or less kind of like where this one came from, because I was like, well, now I have to. So fast forward, off camera stuff. When I said, oh man, I made it to the top, it's rewarding. That was after I was on top for an hour. I hung out for an hour, because I was like, cool. I was like, this is awesome. This feels great and all that shit. Randy Orton pose and everything. And I was like, oh fuck, I got to get back down. Fuck. So I was in no hurry, and I didn't want to go back down. So then I'm like, all right, I better. That's why toward that last part, my hair's untied, because I was trying to like get some air. And then there's also a quick segment in there. I know I have been asked about this. Like, what was the point of that? And it's like, that's the weirdest thing that people fucking like pinpoint. But there's a shot right before I start to go down the bar trail where it's like black and white and it's just me like nodding and smiling, and then it just cuts back to like the video. And that's because I was about to record me talking, and then somebody started talking to me. So I'm still holding my phone, and like they're like asking me like they're like, oh man, that was stressful, wasn't it? That was tiring. That was crazy. So I'm like, it's kind of like listening to him nodding and then like smiling. I'm like, yeah, it was, yeah, you know. And then I was like, well, fuck it. So then I lost my train of thought, and so I stopped it, and then I started fucking talking again because I remembered. And then yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna keep that shot because it was I like the angle. It just the shot makes no fucking sense. So so then I go down the trail. That trail is 3 fucking hours, by the way, to get down, or 3 miles, which it accumulated about not 3 hours. It was about maybe 2 hours, 2.5. It's only about an hour if you're running. But it didn't include none of that because I got about halfway. My legs were starting to hurt, so I sat on a rock and I like kind of like leaned my head against another rock because it was nice and cool, and I was in the shade. And I wasn't like where I was in the way either. People were able to still pass in front of me, and I would hear feet, and then I would like sit up and act like so because I didn't want people to be like, "Are you okay?" So I leaned against the rock, and next thing I know, I fucking wake up, and it's 2 fucking hours later. And I'm like, oh shit. I was like, I fucking passed out. Because for one, I woke up early to get there. 2, I'm fucking exhausted because I did not prepare for this trip at all. I didn't prepare for the incline or anything. It was like, you got to acclimate yourself. And I was like, I live in Colorado. I'm already good to the altitude. Like, I'm sad. And that's not what they meant. They meant you got to prepare yourself for that kind of strenuous activity. And I was like, all right. So I went so unprepared. Like, I was a little sore and I did feel very tired. But I was like, I'm not going to do the incline again. Not for a while anyway. But yeah, so I woke up 2 hours later and I went down, and my water was empty because I finished it when I got to the top, which was a stupid mistake. And then luckily I found the river, like where the clean river water comes from. Take that for what you will. There's no fish or anything in it. So yeah, I filled up my jug there, and I was like, fuck it. Jeremiah Johnson did it, and I fucking drank the fucking water, and I was like, all right, I feel way better. And then I managed to get to the street. So then I'm walking through Manitou, and I'm like, well, fuck, it looks like I just missed the damn shuttle. So then I keep walking, and as I get to the bottom of the hill where you turn onto like the main street, the shuttle goes up the hill. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. I was like, I could have waited and got the shuttle. This sucks. So then I'm like, fuck it. I just keep walking. And I made it back to my car after I got in my car, and I put everything in there, and I started my car, and I changed my shirt because the sleeveless shirt I had on was all sweaty, so I changed it back to the regular shirt I was wearing when I went there. I changed my shirt and then started the car, and then right when I was about to go, then the shuttle is pulling into the stop I would have taken, or I would have got off on to get to my car. And I'm like, so even walking, I got here before the fucking shuttle would have. So I guess I didn't feel so bad. But yeah, that was the end. And then I fucking went to McDonald's and I spent like $30 on McDonald's because I felt like I fucking earned it. But yeah, that's the incline fucking story, I guess. Episode 3, the Clown Motel. Holy shit, this place sucks. There's so much shit that like didn't make the video because it felt wrong like to include it. Um, I planned this this trip wasn't supposed to be until August actually. When I was planning it, and then July, the 4th of July weekend happened to open up a window where I was gonna have 4 days in a row off. So I said I'm gonna take that, and I took the 4 days, and then I planned the trip because I was like, I have all this time to plan this trip. So I did all this shit, everything that I planned, like making the fucking what song choices I'm gonna use, what graphics, what effects, everything, finding the drone shots of Utah, all the shit for Nevada. All of that I did the day before I left because I was like, wow, this trip just moved up a month. And it started because I was on Facebook at work and a fucking sponsored page of the Clown Motel popped up. Stay the night, one of the scariest locations in the world. And I was like, you had me at scary. I'll check that out. So I planned it all. After I saw that post, I planned it within 2 weeks. No, a week. It was about a week and a day. It was when I'm going to do this, you know. And it kind of ruined season 1, by the way, because like season 1 is going to all be like Colorado towns, but except for this one and the vacation ones. So I went and I got gas and I drove and went all the way to Grand Junction, and the Grand Junction segment, that was actually Arizona. I had to re-record that because when I got to Grand Junction and I recorded that part, it didn't save in my phone. When I get out of the car and I'm like, Grand Junction, huh? And I'm like, all right, well, let's go. Yeah, like that all had to be redone because Grand Junction, it didn't save. And when I did say that part, I was actually in a Walmart parking lot, so I'm glad I got to re-record it anyway. That fucking Walmart, I bought 2 1.5 liters or 1.25 liters, 1 Mountain Dew, 1 Pepsi, and there was these guys at the door who were like collecting donation money. They worked there, but they were just outside collecting donation money. The guy goes, he goes, Mountain Dew. That's all I heard. I didn't hear the first part of what he asked, and I went, oh yeah. And then he goes, wait, serious? And I was like, yeah, it's Mountain Dew. And he goes, well, can I get it? He goes, I said, what's up with that Mountain Dew? Let me get it. And I was like, oh, I didn't hear that. I was like, nah, dog, this is all mine. And then I left. And then I went to Utah. And there was absolutely nothing in fucking Utah. It is so empty and so dry. And then I get to Cedar City. I was about to approach Cedar. Or Cedar. It's Cedar Circle City. So I was like, all right, let me go to a place to stop. I'm gonna find a rest area. It was pretty cool because it was on 4th of July, so I'm driving, and I on the highway, and the residentials on either side, I'm seeing fireworks just the whole fucking trip, and it was so dope. So I get there, and I'm on my way to this rest area, and there's this very dark path I'm taking. And I'm following this car that's about 50 feet in front of me. And I tell myself out loud, very stupidly, as long as I stay behind this car, I should be fine. The moment those words escaped my mouth, a deer tried to cut in between, and I ended up hitting him. And I'm like, so what for that shit? And then I was stranded on the side of the road for fucking 3 hours in the dark with my hazards on. Because I pulled over and I was like, I should be fine, I guess. I didn't hit him that hard. And then as soon as I pulled to the side, I see smoke. And I'm like, fuck. I get out front. I get out and look underneath, and there's the radiator fluid. And I'm like, fuck. So then I call the insurance, and I'm trying to figure everything out. And they have no clue how to find me. And I'm like, use the GPS. Like, let me turn my location on, and you just ping my phone. Like, you find me. I'm on I-70. That's all I know. I've never been this way before. And they're telling me, you can't get a rental car till Monday. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I need to be back at work on Monday. Today's Friday. I need to be back Monday. So I finally, tow truck driver shows up. Dude's nice enough to help me. Drives me all the way. Lets me sleep in the car at his tow yard. In Circle. Or no. Yeah, in Circle. I don't even remember the names of these fucking towns. Circle and Cedar City, yeah. So in his shop is in Circle, which is like completely backtracking. He lets me stay in my car. Then he drives me to the rental the next morning because I had to call him and let him know, like, hey, dude, like, I'm up. If you're not doing anything, you told me to call you. He drives me to fucking Enterprise and he waits with me until he gets confirmation I'm getting a rental. And I was like, dude, like, that was so fucking cool. He didn't have to do that. And I thanked him and fucking, I still got to send him like a thank you card because like he didn't have to do that. Like that was awesome that he did that. And then I drove back, I was like, oh, since I made it this far, I'm going to finish my trip. So the gas station scene is the last time I'm in my car. I hit the deer about an hour after that. And then when it cuts to the Bullets and Octane song, that's in the rental. And I'm driving and I'm finishing up my trip and fucking, I'm like, oh, hey, Butch Cassidy's house and all that shit. And I do that whole thing. And I'm just trying to play it off like nothing happened. But for real, I'm extremely pissed because I liked the car I had. So I do all that. Play the disc golf because that was always a plan. Was I'm going to play disc golf in Utah because I never went to any disc golf courses in Utah. Clown Motel was kind of on the edge of Nevada, so I won't be that deep into Nevada. So I play disc golf, and then I drive, and I realize my selfie stick that also turned into a tripod I left in my car. So that's gone. What I'm using here is a brand new one. First time using it, by the way. Then I get to Nevada and extraterrestrial highway and fucking aliens and shit all over. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. And then I get to the motel and I'm looking around and I'm like, the fucking video makes it look like it's smack dab in the middle of nowhere by itself. But yet, here it is around a bunch of other like businesses and stuff like this. This is already kind of a letdown. So then I go inside, and what you don't see on camera is when I check in and I ask the guy, okay, 2 questions. And I was recording this, but I was like, I'm not going to put it in the video. 2 questions. Or I was like, main question, is it true that people hear shit, see shit, shit starts disappearing on them, shit starts moving? Any of that true? He goes, what answer do you want? And I was like, oh, great. I knew I was in for some bullshit. So I was like, let's start with the answer people want to hear. And he goes, yeah. He's like, there's so many people who check out early, so many people who get scared and leave in the middle of the night, so many people that just don't want to stay here. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, what's the truth? And he goes, not at all. He goes, this place it's dubbed scary because of people who are afraid of clowns. That's it. And I was like, so people don't really see things? He goes, no, not at all. I was like, that sucks, dude. Okay. Cool. And then the drive back, I was like, oh, the Hoover Dam. I'm about to pass on the Hoover Dam. And I was like, well, where the fuck is this motherfucker? I didn't know I was on it. And I was like, well, that sucks. So I couldn't record it because I was on the damn thing. No pun intended. And then that's it. There's really nothing else. I found a White Castle, and that place is trash. Harold and Kumar don't know what the hell they're doing there. And yeah, and I was like, this is the worst trip I've ever really been on too. Like, it was all for nothing. I had to find out though, and yeah. So then, yeah, that was pretty much that. And then I drove home straight. As soon as you hear, so when Black and Sunrise comes on the video, I cropped out the White Castle stuff because I was on the way back. I went to Vegas just to see, and I didn't see no Elvises or Frank Sinatras or nothing, so I just left. But I ate at the White Castle because I was just on the highway. Was the original plan just to drive on the highway to come to, because I was going to go through Four Corners, because I was like, I don't want to drive that way with absolutely nothing, especially if I'm going to have to do it in the middle of the night, and I do not want to hit another deer. So I'm going to go where there's like busy areas. So I'm driving, went through Vegas, then I went to I navigated to Four Corners, Colorado, Four Corners area. And I'm like, okay. So as soon as I left, I stopped by a Walmart in Arizona so I can get license plate, the little bike license plates. I always buy those every state I go to. But like, I cut out the White Castle stuff, the brief stop in Arizona, and that whole drive was literally the drive. As soon as I left that Walmart, the drive from their home was the drive. I stopped long enough to get gas, and that was when I re-recorded the fucking Grand Junction scene in Arizona. Because I was like, trees. There's trees around me. It looks pretty mountainy. So I was like, fucking Grand Junction, huh? When I'm really not. I'm in Arizona. So then, yeah. And then that was it. And I made it back exactly at 6 in the morning. And I was fucking tired. And, yeah, that was the end of that. That was just like, that was the worst trip I ever fucking been on. How I spent my vacation too. Vacation harder. I did get a few questions about like the title of this one, and like you can tell who doesn't understand old movies, but it's a play on Die Hard 2, Die Harder. It's pretty fucking simple to figure out, but people don't watch old movies to know this. So I'm like, yeah, it's a Die Hard 2 parody. Hence why the thumbnail even has like the whole me looking behind me, tinted red, everything. Because Punk in the Park was approaching, and I knew for sure I was going to be gone for 4 days again. I was like, Punk in the Park's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to request the date, because all 3 days I thought started at noon. And I was like, I do not want to fucking leave at like 7 in the morning and then try to scramble to get my motel and everything all in the morning, long enough for me to drop shit off and then go to the fucking stockyards for day one. So I was like, I'm going to go up the day before, check in, do all that shit that I'm going to do. And I knew I wanted to do a sequel to the vacation video. Because I was like, well, it's vacation. How I spent my vacation too. So I'm going to do it the exact same style. And this time, every band that I include, I'm actually going to use their logos instead of just text on the screen. Because it looked kind of lame. So I did my best to try to replicate the style. The funny part is I talked so much shit about the motel the first night or the first time around. And I was like, dude, this motel's trash. It sucks, whatever. I was like, I'm never coming here again. And then I get the motel confirmation from Priceline, and it navigates me. And as I'm getting closer, I'm on Peoria Street, and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. I was like, I know exactly where I'm going. And it took me exactly to the same fucking motel. And I said, fuck. That's why the door opened. Because I was like, I'm gonna set it up, and I'm gonna vent a frustration. That was kind of thought of as I was checking in. So that's why I opened the door, and I'm like, because I was like, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be there. But then I'm like looking on what's happening in Denver. I'm like, all right, well, let me kind of see what's going on Denver wise. And I was like, oh shit, Hailstorm and Volbeat's in town today. So like spur of the moment, I bought my ticket and I fucking went. And I went to Ball Arena to go check it out. And the money I used to pay for parking, I'm glad that I paid for parking there, because the next day at Punk in the Park, I didn't have to pay for parking. So I was like, it balances out. But yeah, so I saw the show. I felt okay, and then the next day, Punk in the Park, I'm like, I wake up at fucking 10 in the morning, and I'm like, all right, let's get going. And I look, and I'm like, wait, day one doesn't start till 4 o'clock. I was like, shit, now what am I gonna do? So I just kind of like took my time. I was very lazy with it. And then I drove around the area. I was like, well, let me see where I can park that's going to be for free, because I don't want to pay for parking. And then sure enough, there was nobody in the parking lot at the stockyard. So I was able to go and park for free. And that's more or less all this video was. It was back and forth. Show, motel, show, motel, show. And then I had to check out on the third day of Punk in the Park. Everything was in my trunk. I went to the fucking stockyards. I did day 3. And then on the way back, I just came home from Denver. There's really nothing like exciting that happened on this one. It was just what you saw on video is what you saw on video. I met some chick there who was like, let's stay in contact, okay? Let's stay in contact. I was like, all right, yeah. And she didn't. Like, she messaged me back like maybe twice. And then all of a sudden she just like disappeared. And then I was like, yeah, you're just hurting yourself if you're chasing, you know? So I was like, I'm not going to bother. I was like, I kind of knew she wasn't going to message me anyway. And that was pretty much that. And then, yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's really nothing extravagant about this one. I knew I was going to open it the same way. I was going to do the opening crawl again. And it was also within that opening crawl, I knew I was going to take another jab at the fucking crummy coworkers and all that. Because I was like, I know they watch my shit. I know they watch it to gain information. So that was the point of that one, was I was going to post that as a response to the first one. It was like a tribute / sequel to the first vacation video, and that's kind of that mainly it. Episode 5, the Great Sand Dunes. This one was just, I really don't know what inspired me to go. Like, I don't know what. I think it was because I was like, I haven't made a video in a while. This was at the end of August at this point. Like, I haven't made a video in a while. Not since the 18th of July when I did the vacation one. Because at the time I was working and I didn't really have time. And then the window opens up and I'm like, I was like, I want to go somewhere. I feel like making another video. Because by then, I had the series. By then, this was episode 5 and everything. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. So I redid the thumbnails to the first 2. the incline and the vacation, because I was like, yeah, they're just gonna be in a series. Um, Seasons and shit didn't come up till way later. So I'm like sitting there and I'm like, where can I go? So I'm looking around. I'm on maps of all places, and I'm looking like, where haven't I been? What can I do? And then Great Sand Dunes National Park pops up, and I'm like, I haven't been there since I was a fucking kid. I was maybe 7, 8 years old, and I don't remember it. I just remember we were where some trees are, and I remember there were some dirt hills right immediately, like sand hills. And me and my brother couldn't make it up because the fucking wind was blowing, the sand was hurting. My little brother climbed as far as he can go, and I just remember that was it. I don't in my memory, we were there for 10 minutes. For real, we were probably there for hours. So I was like, I haven't been there in a while. Let me check it out again. Maybe I can do a self redemption and actually like do it. So I drove over there and I did the whole thing with the guy, and I was like, yeah, he's like military, and I'm like, no, not at all, man. And did the sand dunes. See, this video and the next couple after, they went exactly as planned, because this is when I started making like a guideline, like a draft. Like, okay, driving segment, this song here, driving segment, this song here, driving segment, get gas, driving segment, get food, and then I made like a guide to follow, and that's kind of where it came from. So I was like, okay, well, there's going to be 3 driving segments. In between is going to be gas and food to kind of like give a break, so that way you can jump to the next song. And then it's going to be like, hey, I'm at the sand dunes. And then it's going to be about 3 segments of me climbing. And then that was it. That's all I really had planned. And then I couldn't make it to the top. So then I was like, fuck, I need to find like a song of shame now. So I recorded the segment of me looking back and it being all black and white and all like sad and somber that I failed to get to the top and failed to climb the mountain yet again. And I was like, fuck, man. It's like I did the incline, but I couldn't do this, man, because the sand was too soft. You're sinking in every fucking step. You're trying to walk, and the sand is very hot, so you're also trying to bury your feet to get to the cool sand, and that didn't work. And I was like, yeah, this is hard to walk on. There is a segment where it's when Die on Our Feet by Space GT comes on, when I'm like, all right, go. And I'm supposed to be fucking running up the dune. I refuse to say running up the hill. So I'm running up this dune, and I'm fucking in my in my fucking head. I'm running. You see my fucking shoulders going and shit. And then I stop and I turn around and I've only went 10 fucking feet. And I was like, you fucking kidding me? Like in my head, I was hauling ass. I was sprinting, but then I turn around and I see where I was. And it was only 10 feet. And I was like, that sucks. So like, I was like, I'm not even going to acknowledge that in the video. I was like, so whatever. So yeah, and then so I had to improvise the walk of shame scene, and then I drove, and then that's why it cuts immediately to me doing the closing, where I'm like, all right, well, I made it back, whatever. And that was pretty much that. Like the sand dunes is just like, it really was a spur of the moment. It wasn't even like always in the plans, because like every video after for the next few, except for one, they were all like on a whim. Like, I need somewhere to go. Oh, this place is available? Okay, cool, I'm going there. And that's kind of like where the next few videos, except for one of them, came from. So episode 6, Cripple Creek. I've never been. I've been once, but we ate at a restaurant that was above a casino, and we rode the train, and then the adults went to go gamble while we were left walking around the town in the middle of a fog. We couldn't see. It was cold. And that was in 2006. So I was like, I don't remember Cripple Creek at all. I remember we found a skate park. We kept walking. And then we found an arcade. And the moment we found the arcade, we had to go. We got the phone call because we all had cell phones. And they're like, hey, it's time to go. Meet us back over at the car. I'm like, fuck! So we couldn't play the arcade. I just remember the arcade was all yellow. But yeah, so I was like, oh, I'll check it out. I was like, but I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna explore everything about Cripple Creek. So Rita the Troll was the first fucking thing I had to. Actually, the troll popped up on Facebook first, and I was like, hey, I want to go check out this troll. Like, where is it? And I was like, oh wait, this one's in Cripple Creek. And then that was kind of like, okay, I'm going to Cripple Creek then. And then I'm gonna everything I just said. That's kind of where that came from. So I was like, okay, Cripple Creek troll. So I'm gonna again made the guideline. I'm gonna find the troll and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Looked at the troll guide and I was like, there's 2 of them. Okay, the next one is gonna be the next episode. I saw there was a second troll and I said, hold up. Next episode. So I was like, all right, let me figure out what there is to do. So then I'm Googling like things to do in Cripple Creek. And then it's like, whoa, casino and this and this and this. And I'm like, I don't care for that shit though. Like, I want to, like, it's not about just that. I'm going to walk around the town. I'm going to look at everything there is to look at. I'm going to do everything there is to do. So I looked around and I saw the fucking troll first. And then from the troll, I went to the town. There was a car show there, but I'm not a car guy, so I didn't care. And I kind of looked around and I was like, there's nothing. There's no restaurants that are like not expensive or attached to casinos. Whatever. Whoa, Jesus Christ, fucking sun's like in my goddamn eyes. Hence why the glasses came back on. So I'm about to leave and I'm like, you know what? Let me take my fucking chances. So I was like, I'll pull off $20. And I went in there fucking red hot, man. I went in there fucking too hot. I was like, hell yeah. I was like, it works on the Griswolds on Vegas Vacation. So let me do this. $20. Put it in a fucking machine. Never gambled before. So I'm like, I won up to $35. And I was like, oh, yeah. But I was like, well, how the fuck do you win? I didn't see there's a cash out button because, again, never gambled before. So then I just keep fucking playing until I get 10. I'm down to $10. And I'm like, oh, there it is. Cash out. And I'm like, that sucks. I could have, like, cooked that 35 and ran with it. Then I leave. I'm there for fucking only 10 minutes in the casino, by the way. Because then I play another machine and I lose it all. And I'm like, yeah, this sucks. Fucking train down there. I played Monopoly and I lost. And I was like, alright. And then I left. So that real quick break when I'm like, alright, I'm about to go take my chances in the casino. And then I pop right back out. That is true form. 10-minute gap in between. I was like, that sucks. And plus, I was going to record me playing the games, but I guess you're not allowed to record in there. I didn't find this out till later. But I didn't want to record because I was like, people are going to be watching me and shit. So I was like, I'm not going to record anything because I'm going to look weird. I already dressed kind of out of place already. So I'm like, I'm all right. So I just didn't record myself, and that's why I make that a point. Like, hey, yeah, and I was like, I didn't get no footage because I didn't want people looking at me and shit. And then I later on found out, like, oh, you can't record in there anyways. It's a good thing I didn't even attempt it. So yeah, and then I left, and then that was that. But that was it for Cripple Creek. I think the coolest thing I saw was the fucking troll. Episode 7, Breckenridge, aka the worst fucking video I've made. Like, oh man, Breckenridge was terrible. It was probably the worst place I've been to. I mean, it looks nice, but there is nothing to do there. Like, nothing at all. And it was like a letdown. You have to be like super rich to have a good time there. But I was pretty disappointed. Breckenridge, and little do people know, Breckenridge had to be done in 2 days. So I had to go there fucking twice. Up until I get to the parking garage, that was where I had to cut off. And then I drove back. And then the next, I think it was like about a week later. I want to say it was a week later. That was when I went back. Fucking terrible, man. I had to make that trip twice. But I drove there, and basically everything you saw after the troll. I got up to Ivan Heartstone, and I was like, I knew I wanted to do that. And then after the troll, I didn't know what to do, because I got there as soon as Oktoberfest was wrapping up, so I was pissed. So I was like, oh, that could have gave me something to do. That could have gave me more content for this video. But I didn't get to make it. I didn't even know Oktoberfest was that weekend until I got there. But I get there, and Oktoberfest is wrapping up, so I'm like, there's that. That sucks. I go to the troll, and people just don't fuck off, dude. Like, it's so annoying. I'm standing at this goddamn troll for almost 2 hours before I finally got to get that little bit of me talking in. Because there was one family left. And that's why I was like, you know what? That's why I said, luckily there's these people here. Because I didn't want to get into it, like, about everybody else that was there. But I was fucking pissed because they see me with my camera standing there by myself. And I'm waiting for everybody to get their pictures in and leave. But they don't fucking leave. This whole family gets in, and they kept on taking pictures and pictures and pictures. They're like, okay, another one with just the sisters now. And I'm like, fucking hurry up. Like, god damn it, dude. Because they don't just take pictures and leave. They took pictures and they fucking hung out and like mingled all weird. And I'm like, no, dude. Like, you guys gotta go. Like, what are you doing? Like, fucking leave. You know, you guys are just sitting there. You guys are wasting everybody's time. You see other people want to get pictures and shit. And you're just taking up the damn time. Holding up the line. Like, fucking leave. And then they're like, oh, did you want to go? And I'm like, I've been waiting. And they're like, oh, you can take your pictures real quick. And I'm like, oh, why does mine have to be referred to as real quick? But you're here milking the fucking time. But I was like, no, I'm actually a vlogger, so I'm trying to record a video about this thing. And I can't do it when there's too many people here, because for one, it's weird, and I'm going to be talking to my goddamn self. And two, I just would like to, like, think of what I'm going to say first. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they fucking stay there even longer. And I was like, you got to be shitting me. So that's why it had to be cut in 2 days. I get back to the car, and I'm like, all right, well, let me go find somewhere to park so I can walk around town. That's why the segment of me driving with fucking I can't remember the song. I think it was by the Moxie. That's why that song feels so fucking just randomly inserted, because I was like, I just want to use up the songs I chose for this fucking video, and so that way there's more music involved. And I get to the parking garage, and I get in there, and then I'm like, by the time I get out of the car, it's dark. It's like this time right now, and I'm like, there's not enough fucking time for me to walk around and look around and do anything. I was like, I'm gonna have to come back. So normally I was gonna have a to be continued on It was going to be for the Facebook version, and I was like, no, because why does this video get one? I was like, I didn't really do anything. I drove, looked at a fucking troll, and that's literally it. So why does it get a to be continued? And then the next, I was like, and then what if part two sucks? Because there's nothing to do. Like, what if part two is terrible? Um, so, uh, the next week I drive back up, and this time I was like, luckily I don't have to do the driving segments. I could just drive straight there. So I got there faster than normal. Because I didn't like, because normally when I make a video, I do my driving segments, and then I'll like stop and I'll talk, and then I'll like edit that section, so that way when I make the full video, all I gotta do is just piece it all together. I didn't have to do that the second time. I just drove straight there, and then I drove straight to the parking garage, parked, and then I was like, all right, here we go. Walked around, and there was nothing. It's all shops. And I was like, yeah, this is like a visitor's town. Like, it's not like, you can't, like, people live here, yeah, but there's not a whole lot to do. It's all shops. I saw the gondolas. Like, there's that segment where you see me point at them and kind of, and that was fucking, they were shut down. Couldn't do anything there. So that sucks. And I was like, okay. Then I found that place that has like jungle gyms and like cargo nets and shit for adults. I was like, hell yeah, I can do that. And then that place closed. I had like 5 minutes before they closed. And I was like, the fuck, man? So yeah, I was like, I miss Oktoberfest. I couldn't do the adult little playground thing. I couldn't ride a gondola because I thought that would have been a lot of fun. I just couldn't do anything. And I was like, this sucks. The gondola gave me an idea though, because that was where I was like, I'll do the Royal Gorge. And that was supposed to be the next planned video. And then Seven Falls came up. So I was like, that's also in Colorado. I'll do that too. Because I was like, I'm just trying to just find videos just so I can have like a big season. Because this is where the season idea came up. I was like, maybe if I do multiple seasons with a different theme to them. This one, it will be like cities, like Cripple Creek, Breckenridge, shit like that. Manitou. And I was like, so, and then the next season could be like a different theme. Like maybe if I went to like places or something. Season 2 is actually supposed to be what is now season 3. So yeah, so then that was it. Breckenridge was annoying, and then I was like, let's go get some fucking food. And then even then, I couldn't find a restaurant like worth a fuck. So I ended up getting to Denver. I left Breckenridge early on the second time I was there, and I went to Denver and I ate at a Chipotle, and I was like, this is fucking whack, dude. Like, this is lame as shit. There's a Chipotle off of Logan, and I can't remember the cross street. Starts with a B. Because if you keep going, you wind up over where the HQ and McDonald's and all that is. But I was pissed because I was like, this is all a waste of a trip, like literally. So that was it. Like, that was Breckenridge, and I fucking hated it. I hated every minute of it, and I honestly wish that video was not made, because the only reason why I'm keeping it into my in my whole collection is because I took the time and I went that distance twice, recorded shit, and edited an entire video out of it. So I'm like, it's gonna stay. Like, even though it's the worst fucking video I feel I've made, it's gonna stay. It's just gonna be part of season 1. Like, not every series has that good episode. So yeah. So this will be the that terrible episode of my series. But yeah, that was it for Breckenridge. Halloween activities. This one was, like I said, there was a few like spur of the moments, and then one planned. This was the planned video because I knew it was going to be like around Halloween. Little did I know it was going to take me all month long to record, and the power of editing, I tried to make it look like it was all done in one day. Except for there's a segment when I'm getting gas because I was gonna go to do the corn maze, the haunted corn maze, and all of a sudden I have a beard, and then then the next scene, all of a sudden I'm clean shaven again. That's the only thing that I found that I fucked up on. I even wore the same shit on purpose. Uh, but it was yeah. I drove around. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do these three things: the two haunted houses in the fucking the pumpkin patch, because that's cool. And if I would have left earlier, I could have done it all earlier, uh, except for the fucking haunted corn maze. Because I later on, because that was bullshit. I get there and then I realize it's too late, so then I go home. I was like, I'll just hit that the next weekend. Get there the next weekend and do that. I get there, and it's about this time, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for it to get dark. I'm just in my car in the parking lot. It finally gets dark, and it's about 10 minutes before it's supposed to start. And that's when this chick walks up and she's like, "Hi." I'm like, "Hi." And she's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm just waiting for this gimmick to start." And she's like, "Oh, we're not doing it no more." I was like, "Why?" I was like, "You guys only did one weekend? Like, what the fuck?" I was like, "Oh, well, that sucks." And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, we decided just not to do it the rest of the rest of the shows this year." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go then. Thank you." And I left, and I was pissed because I was like, "Well, now what the fuck am I gonna do?" And I go and I pull into Legree's, the grocery store's parking lot, and then I'm pissed, and that's kind of where that rant came from. That rant was all improvised, spur of the moment, because I was like, I have nothing else to do. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. And I was like, and looking at the time, and I was like, I won't make it to Canyon City on time, not for Aftermath. Uh, I was like, so I'm gonna have to move that one to next weekend. I was like, fuck, man. So then I'm driving. I'm doing the. I was like, I'll add the driving segment at least. So I did that. And I ate at fucking Burger King's. I saw Burger King and I was like, oh shit, they got that monster menu. So that was all on a whim. I do that whole part when I'm showing off, and I was like, I'm not gonna eat on camera. So then I do the fucking the time cut, and I'm like, all right, man, oh shit, the jump cut. I was like, yeah, the stuff was good, except for it was just a regular ass Whopper with cheese and bacon added, and everything else was pretty much the same, except for that Franken shit. That Franken Sundae was actually pretty good, except for too much chocolate in it. It had like candy coated chocolate chips, as well as like crumbled Oreos, and then like the purple fudge inside was like, it tasted like cake batter. Pretty good, that stuff. It's just too much chocolate topping. Um, I don't like chocolate though, not a whole lot. So that was that, and I was like, oh okay, I guess. Um, whatever. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna drive to Canyon City just so I can see where Aftermath is. So then I drove, and that whole bit where I'm driving to Canyon City, where that segment was supposed to be black and white with the grainy look to look like an old monster movie, and that's where I Love the Dead by the Gravesiders comes on. I found Aftermath, and I was like, all right, this is where it's at. I was like, okay, that's not too bad then. So then I was easy, because I was like, next weekend I'll come up here. But next weekend I didn't have time. So then I had to come back the weekend after that. And I was like, good God, this is the final weekend of the place. And I went to the final day of the fucking thing. And I was like, God damn it, dude, cutting it close. And I went by myself, and I had a blast. And again, they don't let you record. They don't let you film anything while you're walking the trail. So I just had to like talk about it afterwards, because they told me flat out, like, yeah, if you can't record, because they saw me with doing all the trying to get good angles of stuff, and they're like, just so you know, you can't record once we let you in there. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, yeah, because they asked me, they're like, you're a vlogger? And I was like, yeah. And how can you tell? And he goes, the way you're talking. Because when I got out of the car and I was walking to the line and I showed off the ticket and everything, there was a guy right by me and he heard me. And he goes, yeah, the way you're talking, I can tell you upload your stuff social media. I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, unfortunately we can't let you record while you're in there though. I was like, oh, that sucks, man. He goes, yeah, because there's a couple of the performers are they're minors, so that's the main reason. I was like, that makes sense. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, man. I was like, but is it okay if I talk in detail about it? And he goes, yeah. I was like, okay, I'll just do that afterwards then. So then that was cool that they kind of gave me that heads up so I didn't look like an asshole. And then walked the whole thing. There was a part where you have to slide down a slide, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. I didn't know there was gonna be a slide involved because there was a kid like straddling the slide to like help you, like to let you know you gotta go in there. And I was like, I didn't know there's a slide involved. I was like, I'm too old for this shit, man. So I slid down the fucking slide, and then at the bottom, I couldn't get up because for some reason, like, you get out and like you're like too bent down. So I'm like trying to like fumble myself up without like putting my knees all the way on the ground or like sitting all the way on the ground or any of that. I was just trying to like get up, but I don't know why I made it so difficult. And then like a dude in a mask walks up and he starts helping me up, and I was like, oh, dude. I was like, you're supposed to scare me, and I fucked it all up. I'm sorry. You know, I just hear him, it's okay. And I was like, damn, man. Well, I was like, all right. I was like, I'm too old for this shit. And then, you know, so then finish the trail. But yeah, like it took each event that I did was a different weekend. And I was like, that's fucked up, dude. A different fucking weekend for everyone, and I managed to make it look like it was a one day. So I'm hoping the next Halloween video I do, I can actually fit a lot more in because it will give me more to kind of plan and work with. Because the Halloween one started on the 1st of October, like the first through. It was like either the 1st or the 3rd. It was somewhere in the very beginning of October when I'm like, I could do a Halloween activities video for my next one. And that was kind of where that idea came from. And then Seven Falls was supposed to be the next video or immediately after, but that one also got moved. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Halloween one. Didn't really do anything too extravagant about it. Episode 9, the Ska Brewery. This one was not supposed to happen at all, actually. This one was supposed to be Seven Falls, and then the Royal Gorge were supposed to be episodes 9 and 10. Royal Gorge, I was like, it's probably going to be closed because of like the season, because it's fall going into winter now. And they probably won't allow you to do the swing or the fucking gondolas or any of that stuff. So I was like, I'm going to probably have to move that to next season. And then Seven Falls, I was like, they're only open on weekends? And I happen to be busy on weekends at this point. I already requested too much time off for like concerts and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I can't take another weekend just to do Seven Falls, just to make a video out of it. So I'm going to have to postpone that one too. So then they got moved. And I was like, all right, well, am I just going to conclude the season with Halloween? Maybe. And then I was getting food at Bingo Burger. And next to their drink station where you fill up your fountain drink, there's a sign on the wall. They have like 10 signs for various breweries all over town or all over the state. Like Breckenridge is in there. There's the Dale's Brewery. And then I saw the sign for Ska Brewery. And I was like, Durango. I was like, I've never been to Durango. So I was like, so that'll give me a chance to check out Durango and this fucking place. was like, okay, fuck it, road trip. So I planned the ska brewery in just 2 days. From when I saw that sign to when I actually went on the trip, it was just 2 days. First day was me getting all the fucking shit I needed, making sure the music was gonna work into the video and everything. Because I had the drinking playlist made fucking months prior. I was like, I'm gonna do a drinking playlist. I don't know where it's gonna fit, but every song is gonna be drinking themed. And when I saw the Scott Brewery sign, I was like, perfect. I already have the music set for it, and it's gonna be that playlist. So I took that trip, and it was okay. I left at 8 in the morning, dude, and I got there at fucking 2. Normally I would have got there at 1 if I just drove straight, but having to stop and edit the videos, that's where the extra hour came from. And I was like, fuck, it was just strenuous driving. I fucking hated it. So I get there, and I think I'm recording fucking everything I'm doing, and I'm not. I recorded a few segments, and then I lost my stickers that I talked about at the end when I'm leaving the brewery. I lost them. I don't know where I did with them. They took a pinch too, because I was like, so how do I go about getting some stickers? And the chick goes, you can just take them as much as you want. I was like, really? So I grabbed a pinch, and then I guess I left them on top of my car because they were fucking gone. I can't find them anywhere. And I was like, yeah, it'll probably be a while before I head back over there to get more. So I had to find a bar nearby so I can re-record the interior stuff. And that's the part that sucks, because I was like, dude, I want to be drinking 2 days in a row. But the second time, I'm not going to say what bar I was at. I did the 2 pictures by myself. And I was like, oh, man. And I was feeling it. Like, oh. Luckily, I was able to record everything I needed. So that worked out perfectly. All that stuff that I did inside that bar where I'm in the booth is the same exact shit I recorded in the bar at Durango, except it wasn't 2 pictures. They were just bringing me cups, because there was 2 cups of one of each. One was a Modos, one was a checkered something, but they were both the 2 strongest ales they had, and it was me just drinking them and all that. Same exact thing, it's just minus the picture pouring. And I was like, all right. So when I got home, I realized I didn't record half of the shit I thought. I put the phone there, and I thought I was recording, but I guess I didn't hit the button right, because like the button is off to the side, and I guess I didn't hit it. And I was like, well, that sucks. So then I recorded the other stuff, and then I was like, all right. And then they were a bunch of assholes. They're like, it was like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and they're like, hey, look, I'm not trying to be a dick, but you got to get out of here. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I didn't know this place closed at 9. That's weird. You're closing it up now at 9. Especially a place that's supposed to be a bar or tavern or whatever the fuck you call it. Okay, whatever. So then I left. I was like, the fuck? I get home, and as soon as I get inside, I realize, oh, fuck, I didn't record the closing segment, so I'm going to have to do that another day. And yeah, sure enough, I had to do that the next day. When I had to wait till it was nighttime, dress up and the way I did the day before, go outside, and then record that shit as if I just got home. So that was hard to like try to jump back in that mindset. But when I got home the second day, when I did the second day of drinking at the Mock Ska Brewery, I threw up like crazy. I felt it coming, and when I throw up after drinking, it doesn't just throw up like normal. It fucking explodes. I don't know why. It's projectile. It's gross. Too much graphics, I know. So I didn't even bother aiming for the toilet. I fucking went to the tub and I threw up all over my fucking tub. And somehow shit was on the wall and it was all fucked up. And I fucking felt better. And then I was like, all right, well, now I'm like sober enough because I threw up all the damn alcohol. Let me clean my bathroom. So at 5 in the morning, I'm cleaning my bathroom, and I fell asleep for about 2 hours. Then I woke up at 5 and I cleaned my bathroom, and yeah. And then that was that. And then the next day, I just went outside long enough to record the closing. But yeah, the Ska Brewery was actually a lot of fun. I knew for sure I wanted to try to find a way to cram every song in, and Pick Your Poison by the Bridge City Sinners was supposed to be they have a tasting room at the Ska Brewery, but it wasn't open anyway. So I was like, I'm glad I didn't really get to experience that. I wish I did, but oh well. So I didn't get to do the tasting room, and I had to find somewhere else for that song, where that song was going to go. But Better Days was always going to be when I got there, and then the Bottle Called was going to be when I'm starting to feel it. Drink for Free was when I'm fucking having a great time. Like, it was all planned the way it went. Drink by Ailstorm was always going to be one of the driving songs. You can just kind of tell by the way the songs sound where they're going to go. Because, like, the faster paced ones, I was like, all right, it's going to be drinking. These are going to be driving ones. But yeah, that was pretty much a Ska Brewery. Really got nothing else. All right, now questions. The questions segment. I've been asked so many questions, and some of them are pretty self-explanatory. Some of them are easily answered if you just watch the video. But there was 5 questions that really stood out. That I think it's easy to kind of like jump into and explain, depending on what answer you're looking for. So I guess let's get started with that, no? How do I decide the locations for each episode? Uh, I realize I need to make a video, and then I just start looking through Google and Maps and Colorado towns, and if they're like all like ridiculous far, like Grand Junction or Cortez, then I'm like, yeah, fuck that. Like, that's way too far. If I have to drive over 3 hours, then I'm probably not gonna do it. Ska Brewery was only because Ska Brewery. Those 2 words got my attention. And I was like, I've never been to Durango, so I'll check it out. I cut through Durango when I was on my way back from the Clown Motel, but I was just cutting through, and it was already like 3 in the morning anyway. But how do I pick my locations is like, where haven't I been? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I've never been to Seven Falls. I've been to Royal Gorge when I was 6. So those 2 places for sure were always going to be made. It's just they have to be moved to season 2. Cripple Creek was only because I saw a troll. Same thing with Breckenridge. I was like, oh, there's 2 of them? Okay, I'll go to where the other troll is, hence Breckenridge. Clown Motel is because I saw a post. So a lot of them they're not like like pre-planned locations. They're just they come to mind, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll check that out. And it's like only within like 2 weeks before, at most, where I start to plan it out and then do it. The incline was because people talked about it, and I was like, you know what, I've been wanting to do that. The vacation videos, I got no really choice. It really got no choice. It just kind of happened because I was there. Because I knew I was going to be doing these things. I was like, I'll document it while I'm doing it. Sand dunes was a spur of the moment. They were all spur of the moments except for the Halloween one. I was like, I want to make a Halloween video, but I just don't know what to do. The last Halloween videos I made for the channel before it got revamped like 4 different times was like I did a Halloween movie ranking where I ranked the Halloween movies. Um, I did a fucking a video where I talked about activities to do, or I just talked about it instead of actually doing them. But I was like, my video series now is traveling and me like going and looking at places. So, what Halloween places and activities can I do that still tie in where I'm gonna have to travel to get there, and it's an experience. No, with the play on the title. So that's kind of like why that I just didn't have the areas yet. Pumpkin Patch was probably going to be the only one that I did have included, but I was like I couldn't think of the other two. I was like I need to find something to do, and I was going to actually do 13th floor originally, but I was like oh well these two are closer, so one's in the county, one's in fucking Canyon, so I'll just do those. Um, and I'm sure there's a couple in Springs that I could probably hit up next year, maybe I don't know. But that was the like that was kind of like that. But the locations for season one, they're all like spur of the moments kind of thing. Like when I did the sand dunes, I was like, where else haven't I been? And then that's where Seven Falls and Royal Gorge popped up. Um, so I don't really pre-plan where I'm going, uh, except for season 2 and season 3, which like I said earlier, season 3 was normally supposed to be season 2, but I was like, do I really want to wait that long before I do season 2? So I was able to wedge a season in between the 2 seasons, and I was like, all right, so now I have 3. But season 3 and season 2, they're pre-planned, and that's because season 2, the new season 2 was like I need ideas for things to do, and like season 2 is going to be places, not towns. So I started thinking of like places I haven't been. It's all because of conversations I've had too. I'm like, I've never been there. And then in my head, but the other part of my head, of my brain's like, make a video out of it, and you can go there. So I'm like, all right. How do I come up with the music choices for each episode? I watch a lot of Dick House productions, like Robin Big, Viva La Bam, Jackass, Wild Boys, uh, Jackass the movie series. Like those I watch because the music they use for their stunts and segments is similar to what would fit my channel or my videos, and plus it's not copyrighted. How I do the music is I'll download the music first from like a MP3 to, or from a YouTube to MP3 website where I just copy the URL and I save it, and then I'll make a new video out of it, include that song, and then I'll re-upload it to YouTube, and I'll leave it there for about 20 minutes. And if it doesn't get flagged or it doesn't get the little red fucking no symbol letting me know that I can't use it, then I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's been up there for 20 minutes. It lets me know it is a copyright written song, but it's not taking it down or blocking it. So I'm like, okay, so I can use the song then. And I do that with every song because I'll plan out the guide of what I'm gonna do. So my next video, I'll be like, okay, I'm going here. There's going to be, how far is it? Okay, I can probably do about 4 driving segments. And then, depending on what I'm doing, I can do maybe like 2 segments, another fucking big segment, and then whatever, and then a montage. So then I kind of think what songs would fit those things. And then I kind of go from there. And then I'll fucking do the whole MP3 thing, and then I'm like, okay, all of it can work. Okay, cool, and then I'll fucking use it. Then I'll have to make the little graphics up here on the bottom that lets you know like the song credits and stuff. So it's kind of a process just to get the fucking songs into these videos. Uh, I don't really plan which songs go where though, like in which video. I just kind of like, oh, it's time to make this video, and I kind of go through my whole. I have a fucking list that has like almost 300 songs in it, specifically for the series. And I'm like, okay, well, this song looks like it'd go good. This song would probably fit good. This song would probably fit good. And then, yeah, I go on from there. There is one song, it's by Chris Pontius. It was supposed to be in the fucking Manitou Incline episode, and it didn't make it because there was like I couldn't find a spot where it worked. So then the song moved to the next episode, and then it moved on to the next one, and it did that with every fucking episode so far, and it still has not made it into a video, and that's what kind of sucks. I was like, damn, this one song was supposed to be included from the very beginning, from episode 2, and it didn't make the cut at all, and it's not even. It might fit in season 2 somewhere. We'll see, but yeah, that's kind of sad because that is the only song that like carried over. Because on my Spotify I make playlists for every episode, so that way it's like the one playlist is just the songs included in the episode. So I'm like, okay, so then I'll listen to just those songs for a while I'm driving or whatnot, like whether it's from like home to work or home to the store. I'll put just that playlist on so I can kind of hear those songs and like imagine how they kind of brainstorm the scenes that are going to go with them. And that song didn't fit nowhere. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. But that song jumped from every playlist in season 1 so far. And then it had to go back to the 300 song playlist because it's like, yeah, it doesn't fit anywhere. What software do I use to edit these videos, to edit the episodes? It's called Video Editor. It's as simple as that. It's black and it has an orange camera on it. It's called Video Editor and it's on my phone. It's very simple, honestly. I record with my phone and I edit with my phone. Everything is through my phone. It's so simplified, and like people are like confused how I can make the segments and stuff look the way they do. And I'm like, it's simplified, man. Like it's all easy. I don't do a whole lot of like insane shit. It's all very simplified, and that people are like baffled when I tell them that. I'm like, yeah, it's just I record, I edit with my phone, and then it takes forever saving. That's the only thing that takes forever because the videos are like 30. I think the longest I've done so far is like 40 something minutes. So when I combine all the pieces, it's like 10 gigabytes long, 12 gigabytes long, and it takes almost an hour or two just to fucking save. And then after it's saved, then I upload it to Facebook and fucking YouTube. But one of those is going away. But yeah, it's all software on my phone. It's all Video Editor on my phone, and that's it. How many seasons do I have planned? uh, as of right now, 3. If the third one doesn't take a lot out of me, then I'll probably keep going. I just don't want to run out of places to go for the next for like the future. I do have all of season 2's 9 episodes so far. Season 3, like I said, it was originally going to be season 2. That one is going to have 16 because it's a big one. And that's kind of like what I'm looking forward to. I'm actually wanting. I can't wait to do season 3. That one I think is gonna be a lot of fucking fun. I just don't want to do it by myself because it's huge. It's a pretty big deal, and I just like I said, I just don't want to do that one by myself. But so far, I have 3 seasons. If I can go up to at least 5, and if there's enough room to do a 6, and I'll probably call it cool after that, because I could probably do. Well, I could do season 3 by next year, and then do the next 3 seasons all within the following year. Then I think that would be pretty ideal, like pretty golden, and I'll probably just stop at season 3 or no season 6 if I can get there. If I can think of shit to do for seasons 4, 5, and 6, then that see right there. That's 27 more videos I'd have to make, and I can't. How the fuck do you think of 27 more things to do? What's next for season 2? Nothing. I'm not gonna tell you. Just watch the some bitch. Season 2 is gonna start off relatively soon here. Actually, it's going to start off maybe at the end of November, early December, and then it is going to include the Christmas activities, uh, which is either going to be Christmas activities or it's going to be, or I'm going to give it a whole new name, because like the Halloween activities, it sounded kind of lame, so I'm going to probably give that episode a title, but it's going to be the same thing as Christmas. Um, so there's that. That one's probably going to be, and then of course, like I said, Royal Gorge and Seven Falls are in season 2. So 3 episodes are pretty much, you already know. You already kind of have an idea. The other 6, I'm not going to say where they are, what they are. I just know they're going to be fun. One of them for sure. But yeah, so the next few episodes, I think one of them, and then I already there's one episode that I have a feeling is going to be the Breckenridge of that season, and that's a place I've never been before. So I'm hoping it could be fun. We'll find out, but I'm not going to say a whole lot about season 2. It's going to be 9 episodes long, and I might do another one of these at the end of it to kind of give you like the background information and all that shit to it, and that's pretty much that. That's all I'm gonna really say is 9 episodes. I'm not gonna say where, except you already know of 3, because I explained one. You already knew of Royal Gorge and Seven Falls. I explained the Christmas one, but I'm not gonna give out what the other 6 are. Uh, but that's pretty much it for that. Like I really got nothing else. It's already sun. It doesn't look sundown on the camera, but it's pretty fucking dark out here. But um, I think that's pretty much all I really got for now. The next season is not going to go to Facebook. It's going to be just on YouTube, and because for one, it'll be faster for me to, after it saves, which is already going to take time to fucking save each episode. Once that saves, that will give me time to it'll save me time having to upload it twice. It'll be easier just to go straight to YouTube, and then once it's on YouTube, then I can just share the link. If you can follow, I do have a page on Facebook for this channel. It's called Mario Peralta Experience. The logo is the same, everything. Um, I'm going to share my links there, and then on my private page, I'm going to share the links there. So you're going to get them twice, 2 different areas, and that's pretty much that. Um, uh, so as far as season 2, just stay tuned. It's going to be happening relatively soon. But that's pretty much all I really got. Uh, be the shit without being shitty to someone else. And the future is whatever you make it. Just make sure it's a good one. With that said, I got nothing really else. So thanks for watching.